Chapter 9. Electricity and Circuits. Electricity. Imagine you have to spend a few days in a campsite in a totally isolated place. What are the things that you will not have? No fan, no television, no music and no light. You will get light from the sun or from a torch. It is so difficult to imagine life without these things. This is the importance of electricity in our life. Electricity has become an unavoidable necessity in our life. Electricity is needed to run most appliances we use, from televisions, motor to draw water, fans, to trains and buses. Electricity is needed to run all the industries. Without electricity, the world would be dark after sunset. All this electricity is provided to us through power stations. Sometimes, we use a torch as a source of light. A torch also runs on electricity. The electric current in a torch is produced by a device called the electric cell. Electric cells. You must have used small electric cells many times to play with your toys or to use a camera. Very small electric cells, button cells, are also used in calculators, watches and other devices. A small electric cell is usually cylindrical in shape with a metal cap on one side and a metal disc on the other side. All these cells have a similar basic structure. Let us understand it through an activity. All electric cells have a positive and a negative terminal. Inside the cell, there is a mixture of chemicals which produce current. The terminals provide passage for the current to flow from the cell to the device. When these chemicals get used up, the cell stops working and has to be replaced. The most common electric cell that we use is the dry cell. It is made up of a zinc container, which acts as a negative terminal. Inside, it contains a paste of chemicals which is connected to the positive terminal through a carbon rod. The dry cell is used in toys, cameras, torches and radios. Dry cell. Dry cell can be used only once, hence, it is also called a primary cell. These days new types of cells are being made which can be used again and again. These are called secondary cells. These need to be recharged with electricity for repeated use. So, the cell in a mobile phone is a secondary cell. When it stops providing current, it has to be recharged. Most of the time, a single cell does not provide enough current to run a device. In such cases, more than one cell are connected to each other. This arrangement is called a battery. Batteries are very commonly used in inverters and cars. These days new types of cells are being made which can generate current with the help of sunlight. Such cells are called solar cells. You may see a solar panel connected to a traffic light. During the day, in presence of sunlight, the panel makes and stores electricity. This is then used up at night. Solar cells are also very common in calculators. Electric bulb. Let us now look at an electric bulb. 1. Glass bulb. 2. Low pressure inert gas. 3. Tungsten filament. 4. Contact wire, goes out of the stem. 5. Contact wire, goes into the stem. 6. Support wires. 7. Stem, glass mount. 8. Contact wire, goes out of the stem. 9. Cap, sleeve. 10. Insulation, vitrite. 11. Electrical contact.
How does current flow? Electric current can flow only through a circuit. An electric circuit contains the following. 1. An electric cell or battery which can generate current. 2. Wires which allow the current to pass through them. These are generally made of copper or aluminium. 3. A device which needs current to work. For example, a bulb, hairdresser and toy fan. For the current to flow, the device and the battery are joined through the wires to make a closed loop. When this circuit is complete, the current will flow and the device will work. This is called a closed circuit. If even one of the connections is open, the current will not flow through the circuit. This is called an open circuit. Generally, in a circuit, current is said to flow from the positive terminal to the negative terminal. Fuse. Sometimes a bulb does not glow even on passing current. Observe such a bulb. You will find that the filament of the bulb is broken. Such a bulb is said to be fused. A fuse is also used as a safety device in electrical circuits in our homes. It contains a thin copper wire connected to the circuits. If too much of current passes through it, it melts and breaks, causing the circuit to become open. Thus, the current stops flowing, preventing an accident. An electric switch? Sometimes, we do not need a continuous supply of current. We need to stop the flow of current so that a device can stop working when not in use. This can be done by an electric switch. We use electric switches all the time to switch on or turn off the lights, fans and torches. Let us see what an electric switch is. An electric switch opens or closes an electric circuit. You can observe a similar switch in a torch. A bulb is connected to a series of cells through the switch. When we press the switch on, the switch completes the circuit and the torch starts glowing. When we press it off, the switch breaks the circuit and the torch stops glowing, as shown in the image. Does all matter allow electric current to pass through them? So far, we have created circuits in which we have used cells with metal containers and wires. These materials allow the current to pass through them. Such materials are called conductors. All metals are conductors. Apart from these, graphite is a form of carbon which is a conductor. Materials such as plastic, glass, wood and rubber do not allow electricity to pass through them. These are called bad conductors or insulators. Insulators are very important as they are used as covering over the electric wires. The wires have a rubber covering so that they do not come into contact with each other and with the human body. Human body is a good conductor of electricity. So, it is very important not to touch a conductor through which current is passing. This is the reason why the screwdrivers and electrical testers have plastic handle. How to be safe from electricity? Electricity is very useful for us, but it is very dangerous too. Since human body is a conductor of electricity, it is very important not to be careless with an electrical device. Never insert your finger in an electrical socket. Do not switch on electric switches barefoot or with wet hand. Though pure water is an insulator, tap water is a conductor due to the salts dissolved in it. You must have seen the electricians working in your home. They switch off the main supply of electricity before changing switches or repairing damaged devices. Sometimes they wear gloves while working, as the gloves are insulators. However, the electricity generated by a dry cell is very less and safe for you to do the experiment. Do we have enough electricity? The demand for electricity in the world is continuously increasing with increasing population and new inventions. Most of the electricity that we get is produced from water or coal. Since both of these are not very abundant, the demand of electricity is never completely met, especially in developing countries like India. Hence, electricity is a precious resource which should be judiciously used. You can take a few simple steps to avoid wasting electricity. Switch off the lights and fans when not needed. Do not leave the chargers and television switches on after using them. Remember, electricity saved is electricity produced.
In a nutshell, most of the devices we use in our daily life require electricity to work. Small amount of electric current can be generated by an electric cell. An electric cell is a device in which current is generated from chemical substances. The most common cell that we use is a dry cell. Every electric cell has a positive and a negative terminal. A battery is a combination of more than one cell to generate more current. An electric cell that can be used only once is called a primary cell. An electric cell that can be used repeatedly by charging, it is called a secondary cell. A bulb contains a tungsten filament supported by two thick wires which are connected to the terminals of the bulb. A circuit is a closed path through which current can pass. It is made by connecting an electric cell and a device that runs on the current. Electric current in a circuit flows from the positive terminal to the negative terminal. The flow of current can be controlled by an electric switch which can close or open a circuit. A substance that allows electric current to pass through it is called a conductor. A substance that does not allow the current to pass through it is called an insulator.